There's one that I like to tell my girlfriends that's easy to remember. And she made me this shirt that says, love over fear. Because a lot of times people are operating out of fear. Like whenever you make a decision to do something or not do something, if you ask yourself, am I doing this out of love or fear? A lot of times people are operating out of fear. Like fear of rejection or fear of being not good enough. So I think if you ask yourself that, am I doing it out of love or fear, then that also will maybe change some of your actions.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are on Beyond the Hustle by Madam Vision here at Core Cultural Studios. This is going to be episode 21, and I feel like our guest today is quite significant. Her name is Tina Fong. Hello, Tina Fong.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
Tina Fong is a world traveler. She is can I say foodie?
Yeah, sure.
Can I say
food.
foodie? Expert foodie. She's curated an amazing page by the name of Taipei Eats. She's a restaurateur, and she's been in the food and beverage and hospitality industry for quite some time, and it's brought her all around the world. And today, I'm curious about something that she mentioned to our producer, Armel, about, how should I phrase it? Extracurricular, interdimensional travel?
Yeah, I guess a different kind of journey.
Different kind of journey. So, Tina, I understand that you consider yourself very spiritual. Thank you for being here, and I know that there's certain experiences that I would love to tap into, certain teachings and learnings and understandings that I think are very on par, on key with the show Beyond the Hustle, because we're super fascinated about the undercurrents of what motivates and drives human creativity, our spirits, ideas of abundance, success, and there's different ways to allow all of us to be more in tune with
Source or God, universe, consciousness.
Right. So my first question to you is, why are you here?
Why am I here? I think I love to share. I feel like the past few years I've gained some wisdom that I never knew I had in me before. So I love to share a little bit of what I learned, and I think people can maybe take what they want from it and make their lives better, the quality of their life.
Do you feel like there is a driving force behind that that's not you?
I think, this consciousness, right? The God, or I don't know, what do you use for that? Do you use God as a term?
Do you have a
or
word
source?
For it?
I just use God, but I know a lot of people don't like it. So consciousness maybe is another word that people are more accepting, I feel like. What do you use?
Sometimes I use the word God, sometimes I use the word universe.
Universe.
Sometimes I use the word force.
Right.
Of course, Lao Tzu spoke about the way. You just mentioned something off camera about something called gene. What is it called?
Oh, Gene Keys.
Gene Keys.
The Gene Keys, by this guy Richard Rudd. But it's also like philosophy and I Ching and the purple. I Ching is not purple astrology, right? That's something different.
Right.
But it combines a lot of human design and things like that.
Right. I sense that you're very well versed in many different practices and styles of understanding self. Is this the journey that you're on? What kind of journey would you say you're on?
Yeah, I think I'm just really curious about everything that the world has to offer. I mean, I think the truth is the same. Whatever religion you study or books you read or guru that you follow, I think the ultimate truth, there's only one truth, I feel like. It's just different words to say it and different method to get there, different paths. But I'm just interested in all these things because it's like magic. I didn't believe in any of this before. So this is really new to me. So I'm just exploring everything, entertaining myself too.
That's amazing. I know there's a lot of words that get thrown around these kind of topics.
Like what?
You know, occult, taboo. You know, there's a lot of there's a lot of negative connotations with the unknown. But I think that there is much to learn from being in unknown territory. What influenced you to start traveling into the unknown realms of some of these practices?
I think I started to become curious because of an ayahuasca ceremony. But prior to that, I think my life, I'm really happy, but I wasn't fulfilled. So I think this journey gives my soul a type of nourishment that I didn't know I needed. So I'm always hungry for more.
Before this, we'll go into ayahuasca. I'm sure many viewers know what ayahuasca is. I'm sure there's people who don't. What is ayahuasca?
So ayahuasca is all natural. It's they brew a tea from a vine from the Amazon jungle, along with, I don't know, there's another, I think a leaf or a seed to slow down the release of DMT, but it's basically a DMT brewed drink, and it's hosted by or facilitated by shamans with music.
And what's DMT?
DMT is, they call it the spirit molecule. So basically your body releases DMT right before you die. So they compared DMT experiences to like a near-death experience.
Really?
I forget the scientific term for DMT. Do you know it?
I don't know.
Okay. I think a lot of people know, but I forget.
The metric in minutes or something.
Something, yeah. That sounds about right.
Something. No, I'm kidding. But apparently, you definitely experience high-level hallucinations. Or what would you describe it as?
I would actually describe it as grace showing you, or visions. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, and that's what I would kind of describe it.
We'll get into that a little deeper. Take me to the journey leading up to your ayahuasca trip. Who were you, or who do you think you were at that time?
So I thought, it was during COVID time. And I think like everyone else, we're just kind of stuck at home. We go to our friend's house drinking. But you kind of question what is the meaning of life. And then I was asking myself that too. And I was completely at peace if I were to die the next day. Because I feel like I lived a good life. I have no regrets.
You were having these thoughts at your house during COVID?
Yeah. Did you know?
Kinda.
Yeah, but I really felt grateful, and I feel like there's nothing the world has to offer me. And I went to a party, and my friend asked if I want to try it. I had never heard of it. And I was like, yeah, sure, because I was thinking I'm not afraid of death. It doesn't matter what it is, I'd try it. So I went to the ceremony, and when the tea starts to visit me, I knew right away my life would be different. Because I knew I was more than my physical body right then.
So what did you experience? Like, what was that?
So the opening scene of my ayahuasca was an eye, just an eyeball. And that already is not in my usual...
You still vividly recollect what you saw?
Yeah, for that opening. It happens, there are a lot of other scenes that I don't remember. It happens quite quickly too, but the opening scene I would always remember. So it was an eyeball. And then the eyeball turned into an eyeball of a whale, of a dog, of an eagle, of a cat. And it just really fast, like bam, 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 bam. But it's always an eyeball for maybe 30 seconds or so. And then my trip or my journey started. And I was like, there's no way I would hallucinate that. Like I would maybe hallucinate aliens because I'm fascinated by UFOs, but the eyeball was something I never really never captivated me in any way.
Right, so you're like, where did this come from?
Yeah, so now I know the significance of an eyeball, but before that, I was like, there's no way that I would imagine that.
Before the ayahuasca trip, did you ever have interests, or did you study? Did you?
None. Like I did not believe in astrology. I don't believe in God. And when I was young, I did. I think in elementary school, I believed in both Jesus and Buddha. But
there's rumors that Jesus visited Buddha.
Yeah, I think Jesus went to India, and Babaji was one of his guides. But when I became a teenager, up until my 30s, I was like, science, what am I doing? Believing things that I don't see or feel. It's never shown me anything. If I pray for something, it's not given to me. So where's God? So I just did not believe in it at all, like any higher power. Though I believed in ghosts, but that I was just like
quantum entanglements.
Right. So I did not look into any of the spiritual philosophy or principles or anything like that before.
And then there was a shift.
Because of ayahuasca.
Really? So that was that was really a dimensional shift.
Yeah. And after that night, the journey, I went home, I started Googling maybe some of the things that I saw, and also just put on a documentary on plants and trees in general. Because I'm like, how can something from nature, so natural, give me these visuals and these sensations and all the things that I saw from that grows out from the forest that's been around for thousands of years. So I think from that, listening to that documentary, taking out my laundry, I had another awakening moment.
Really?
Yeah, it's like this higher intelligence that I know exists all around me and is everything.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What are some of the? Do you have a list of new beliefs? Is there one? Is there a medley? What do you believe now?
I believe in. I mean, my entire worldview changed, but I believe in, I guess, all the principles people talk about that I know is true. As above, so below. Like we are the creator of our own reality. What you give out is what you'll get back. Like all of these things like that is talked about in all sorts of books and religion and teachings. So
you, after ayahuasca, you did a deep dive on a lot of this material.
Yeah, I was obsessed. Because it's so interesting.
How many years ago was this now? 2, 3?
I think 2.5, I want to say.
So you've been deep in the rabbit hole, as we say, for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just I have a very flexible schedule.
Maybe it's not a rabbit hole, maybe it's a portal.
Yeah, different dimensions. I don't know, just exploring everything. Because I think a lot of it, too, is very interesting when you come across certain pieces of information or wisdom. It's like you already know it, you're just remembering it. Does that make sense? Because I think we all know deep down inside who we are and what we're made of. And
have you encountered a vision of who you were before?
You mean like past lives and things like that?
You tell me.
Actually, no. No, never really had any, I always feel like I was a boy my past lifetime. But
really?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think we're everything. We're all the same somewhere.
Right. Do you believe we always live once? Do you believe you only live once, or you always live again?
Well, we live in this body once, but we're eternal. So I think, we're eternal. Our
In
souls.
in your practice, in your
Belief.
research of the practices
Okay,
and styles, which leaders or mentors or writers or gurus, so to say, who stuck out, or who captured your attention?
Right off the bat, I would say Ram Dass, like a few
Ram
years
Dass.
ago. Yeah, when I first started my journey, because it's very relatable. And he also started his journey because of psilocybin and psychedelics. And so he went to
That's
India.
what you took? You took psilocybins? Or it's
no,
different
no,
than ayahuasca?
different, yeah. But they're both like psychedelics, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So Ram Dass, and then from that, like Yogananda. Have you heard of
No, I
Yogananda?
haven't heard of this.
You have to read the book, Autobiography of a Yogi, Yogananda. And then a lot of modern books too. I just go through them really quickly because I
Just download
have
it.
a Kindle and it's very easy.
Oh, that's fire. Would you ever get a chip in your head?
Oh no.
Never?
Would you?
I'm just asking. Then
Yeah.
you can read books 10 million times faster.
No. I think that's too. I feel like that's too intrusive.
Really?
Yeah, and it's fun. The journey is fun of slowly visiting ideas and contemplating on them. I think that's part of the fun.
The process in itself is
Yeah.
its own pleasure, as we
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Ram Dass, what's Ram Dass about?
So he was a Harvard professor.
Okay.
Do you know Timothy Leary?
No.
So they both got basically outed by the, not outed, banned from,
Excommunicado
by
the academics
Right.
circle.
because of psychedelics, because they really advocate for the benefits of psychedelics.
Right. Side note, shout out Psychedelic Assembly in New York City. I know we were speaking about that off cam.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
If anybody wants to kind of explore and you're in New York, just Google Psychedelic Assembly. They're doing some great stuff in that community of
I'm sure. Yeah.
educating and creating more awareness and taking away the stigma
Yeah, I
that's
think that's
attached to this concept of tripping.
Yeah, or that is a terrible drug that'll make you jump out of the building, right?
I learned that there is actually a lot of studies on rats that are legal and allowed. The most horrible things you can imagine that they do to rats. But they don't test, and there is illegal to test psychedelics on them.
You said it's illegal?
Yeah.
How come?
You have to go down that rabbit hole too.
Oh.
Because you already know, deep down,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's very safe for the human being to remember who we truly are.
Yeah.
But continue with Ram Dass.
So Ram Dass, I think
Excommunicado.
Right. So he went to India and he found his guru. And his guru taught him, or actually made him realize what love is with non-judgment. And I think his teaching is very simple. It's just love. And be here now, be present, and love everybody. So I think it's easy concept, but not so easy when you actually have to do it for the rest of your life, or change a lot of your conditioning and judgment and transcend all of that, right? But to come to peace and equanimity.
What does equanimity mean?
I would say it's like a balance and peace in your heart. Yeah.
Do you have a guru now?
I do not.
Are you looking for
I think
one?
everyone is my guru. I think I can learn something from everyone.
I just thought it was always it's very interesting to hear stories about certain characters who do go and they encounter a guru or a leader or a monk who are very, I guess you can say very, very, very convincing. And what do you think that is? That between the line of being convincing and actually feeling that its truth?
I think most gurus, they're not trying to convince you of anything. They're just sharing their knowledge. If you resonate with him or her, then you just want to learn more. And I think with Ram Dass and his guru, he said when he saw his guru in his eyes, or just being around his guru's presence, and it's not just him, it's everyone around his guru, he just felt this unconditional love. And that changed him because he opened his heart. So I think every guru is different, so maybe every guru has something different to offer. I think there's a saying that when you're ready, the guru appears, right? Or the teacher appears. But I think everyone is looking for something different. Like my way of learning is different from yours. So yeah, hard to say, I feel like.
Do you think that there's a force that's leading you towards this curiosity?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think it's very natural. I think it's like the natural thing for me to do in this stage of my life.
You mentioned that you have a lot of time.
Yeah, I have a lot of time.
How do you create a lot of time?
Well, I think my work with the food tour business gives me a lot of freedom. Because I have some food tour guides that we've trained, along with my business partner. He's also pretty hands-off. Yeah, so I work a few hours a week.
That's fire. So when you say this time in your life, what is that time in your life?
What is the time?
You said in this time in your life.
Oh, the stage.
This stage,
I guess it's the stage after the excessive partying, drinking, eating, traveling too. And now I travel a lot still, but in a different way. Yeah.
Do you feel enlightened or in bliss, or do you feel like you might be reaching those levels of self-actualization or concepts of transcendence?
I think everyone is enlightened. They just don't know it yet. So I think I don't think I'm walking around blissed out every day, but there are days or even a few months at a time where I feel like this is heaven. I'm walking around and I see things differently. Good things keep happening to me. So there are definitely moments or days, months that I do feel really blissed out and a lot of mental clarity, a lot of synchronicities. But then there are days like last month, I just didn't really feel completely aligned. So, I mean, there's a lot of work to get to true enlightenment, I feel like. So I'm definitely not there yet, but I have glimpses of what that might feel like. And I know there's no ceiling to that. So I can't even imagine.
Right. A big seed for this show was a question that I asked a very prominent investor, CEO of an investment company who manages billions of dollars that is currently moving into the AI sector. And the big question that they were wondering as the world becomes increasingly more robotic and more AI forward, so to say, whatever the definition of AI means for people. Their vision was that it would allow humans to become more in touch with who they are as a creative power. But my question to that person was, and of course there's skepticisms, but my question was, is it possible for us to realize or encounter a world or live in a world where the majority of people are enlightened?
Are not?
Are enlightened. Do you think that's possible?
I think anything is possible. Yeah, I think that's possible for sure. Why not?
What do you think that world would look like if we were all practicing this kind of...
I mean, I think it would be a very peaceful, loving world. But I also think this world that we're currently in with the war, all the fighting and disagreements, it's all for a reason as well. It's for people to learn and expand. So there's different purpose for different worlds, I feel like, right?
Do you think there's multiple worlds?
I think so, for sure. There's different realities of our world. I think so. I think we're constantly shifting into different worlds based on our own ideas, our own frequency.
Have you experienced different worlds?
I think maybe it's hard to, what I say doesn't, it's like I say a different world. Like if I am operating on a different frequency, if I think everyone is good, then I will see a lot of good around me and good things will happen to me more often. But if I'm really negative and I'm just really gossiping a lot and hateful, then that's the world that I will also live in. So I have a choice if I want to live in heaven or hell. So I feel like a lot of the world is not just like, oh, I've gone to a different world and that world is beautiful. It's always kind of just subtle, I guess. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Who do you feel has instilled this curiosity in your life for? I mean, I guess before that, you were completely different before the ayahuasca trip. But
Yeah.
do you feel like there's a character in your life who instilled this kind of a curiosity, this wondering?
No, I don't think there's an outside influence. My mom she's a Buddhist, but I think that's also very different from general spirituality. But I think all these curiosity and it just comes from within.
And your dad, was he spiritual?
He is not super spiritual, no, but he also believes we're more than just our physical body. And he likes to read, I think, some philosophy books, and also I'm not sure if he's a true practicing Buddhist, but I think he also goes to the temple sometimes.
Right. I think the culture here in Taiwan is very wonderful because there is a respect for supernatural forces.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
we bye
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
we go to the temples.
Right.
Do you do that?
I go with my friend Angela sometimes, but I don't do it really on a regular.
Do you think that's real? Do you think the deities really exist?
I think they do. I think they manifest in that form, maybe, but it's all energy. Everything is energy, I think. So yeah, I do believe that.
Are there any examples from your life that made you really like, wow, that was crazy?
With different goddesses,
in relation to this conscious energy?
I can't think of one big moment because I feel like they're just kind of seamless, woven into my life, like different perfect moments, synchronicities, people in my life. I don't think there's one big miracle, if that makes sense.
Right.
And there are a lot of beautiful miracles in my life.
That happen consistently.
Yeah. I mean, I think even life itself is a miracle already, right? Us sitting here on a floating rock and talking. We can eat anything we want, travel anywhere. So I think it's all like perspective too, what you consider as a miracle. But I don't think I had like a big illness that's magically cured or anything like that yet.
Right. God forbid. Do you feel like there's a connection between pain, being broken, and the search for enlightenment?
Yes. So I think suffering is necessary. I think a lot of people, without darkness, there's no light. So I think a lot of people, they have to know the dark in order to see and understand the light. Yeah, but nothing is in vain.
So you feel like everything has to be.
It does.
Has to go. You have to go through these dark times.
I think Most of the time, yeah. I think so, yeah. Or else we can just be born in a different planet where everything is perfect, but you probably won't understand or embody these wisdom as well if you hadn't gone through the pain, right?
Are there practical ways throughout your day that you feel like this understanding, this belief, this practice of seeing things for light and dark, how do you practice that practically?
Oh, I think now I believe and I know that everything happens for you, not to you. So everything happens for you. If the 7-Eleven guy is quite nasty at you, it's for you. It's for you to maybe practice your patience, maybe for you to show your kindness. So everything is for you. You have to figure out why it happened for you. So I think that's a very practical way to put things into a different perspective. Yeah, I think that's one of the things. And there are different mantras that work for different people too. There's one that I like to tell my girlfriends that's easy to remember. And she made me this shirt that says love over fear. Because a lot of times people are operating out of fear. Like whenever you make a decision to do something or not do something, if you ask yourself, am I doing this out of love or fear? A lot of times people are operating out of fear, like fear of rejection or fear of being not good enough. So I think if you ask yourself that, am I doing it out of love or fear, then that also will maybe change some of your actions.
How do you know when you're doing something out of love?
You just know because it's love and it's from your heart. And you do it not for love, you do it with love.
What does it feel like?
It feels like it's right. Yeah, it just feels like your body agrees with it, your mind agrees with it. You don't have to question it, your decision, because it's coming out of love and purity, kindness, patience. I think it's very clear what love is too, right?
Noise cancel? I feel you. It's Friday. They trying to have a little Friday night party over there. You mentioned mantras. What's another? Hit me with some of your favorite mantras that.
I can't really think of too many off the top of my head. I think that's a really easy one, like love over fear.
Love over fear, for sure.
Yeah, like Om Mani Padme Hum. That's a Tibetan, or is it like a Hindu Tibetan?
I believe
Because
so.
in Tibet they always chanting it, and I did too when I was younger.
Do you remember how the chant goes?
A changa?
Do you remember how the chant goes?
It's just Om Mani Padme Hum.
How does the chant sound?
It's just Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. And they're different. You can also sing to it too. And there are people that do the mala beats. And some people also do it at a very low vibration. They say it really fast. So eventually it just sounds like Om.
Right.
But that is also just to offer peace, send out the desire to offer peace for the entire world. Not for yourself or anything in specific, but just, I think it's a very good sound vibration.
Back to the frequency.
Everything is frequency, right? Energy, and frequency, vibration.
Current frequency. Are you familiar with Walter Russell's work? All right, definitely gotta tap into Walter Russell. He has a book called Universal One, which talks a lot about wave frequency, sound semantics, and of course, you might have seen some of the research and studies they've done with kind of using sound waves on
the somatics.
On the somatics, right? The sand, the salt,
right?
Seeing the geometry, the sacred geometry that's created.
Yeah, for sure.
But they go beyond that to not only do that with sound, but with like wave pressure, right? So Terrence Howard was just recently on Joe Rogan, and he kind of paradigm shifted the whole world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should watch that episode. Yeah. You know, Terrence Howard is a very brilliant mind when it comes to kind of bridging this gap between the super intellectual, academic, very rigid at sometimes, scientific community. Of course, without them, we wouldn't have the technology and some of the most greatest advancements without that scientific process. But then that also gives way for, outside of the box type thinking, understanding what is beyond the science.
Yeah. I think that's nice to open up people's minds.
Oh,
at least entertain an idea a little bit.
It shifted. I mean, this thing took off. So
people don't think he's crazy.
So that's what happened.
Oh no.
So this is what happened. They thought there was a huge amount. The response was, this guy is crazy. This guy is dangerous. This, that, bomb. It was just venom spewed, right? Joe gave him his piece. But Joe in that space is interesting because it could be one of the only places right now where you can have these kind of discussions on a global stage. So what does Joe do next? He brings on Eric Weinstein, which is one of the most brilliant minds that Joe knows, genius mathematician, physicist. And he gives Terrence an elite review, not a peer review, an elite review. Right. Because Eric then goes on to say that the peer review concept or system is also broken.
Of course,
it's monetarily, influenced. It's or motivated.
Yeah.
It's a very close community. A lot of it is fueled by ego, and
of course, yeah.
So he was basically, I'm going to steel man your argument. I'm not going to straw man your argument. And it was a beautiful conversation, I think, between intellectuals, possibly Terrence, which is very, kind of out there with some of his ideas, but deep down there was some great progress. Have you had that kind of experience with your own circle?
Not really that profound or on that big scale, but I think just more on a more subtle, I feel like. And not everyone wants or is ready to hear this or to change or to accept or entertain these ideas. I learned that with some of my friends. But I think there are always different angles, I think, to go about introducing people to spirituality, right? And I think one of the big things that everyone can do is to just change themselves. As people see the change in you, they'll be curious, and you're just different, and they'll be more curious about that than you trying to shove ideas in their heads. And that's what I really wanted to share too when I first started. I'm like, did you know this is not what you think? Did you know about this and that? And then slowly I kind of simmered down and kind of go back to myself. And I'm like, I need to, before just blindly sharing, I don't really know. I mean, I don't know anything. So I have to first learn more first. And then I think just share more organically, I guess. Yeah.
How did you feel during those times where maybe your friends were like
that I'm crazy?
You tell me what kind of things, what kind of energy did you get? What kind of things was being said?
So actually, I feel like all of my friends are very supportive because I'm always just myself. And I think even though they might think I'm crazy, they hit it very well because we also hang out at the same. And what I want to talk about, I think sometimes are different now. Before, it's a little bit more superficial. So I think some friends, we don't meet as much, but it's nothing, there's no big falling out or anything.
That's fascinating. And do you feel like you have a new group of people that you connect with differently?
I do have a few people that I have now really connected. And he's also, and him and his wife, they're also on the spiritual journey. But he's been in the journey for a long time. But he's kind of like my spiritual brother now. Wow. And we have this small group of friends that we discuss these things with, and we actually grow together and celebrate each other. And it's really lovely.
Wow. And that's something that you felt like you didn't really experience before, this ayahuasca trip.
No, not before that, no. But I think when you change, like naturally you attract people on the same frequency, right? Same wavelength. So I think it's a pretty natural progression.
Mm.
Mm.
As I speak to you, I'm taking on a very logical approach for the audience.
Okay.
Because I would imagine that there are people who are curious and are interested in exploring these spiritual, you know, currents, journeys, whatever you might call it. But the logic puts them in a bind. How have you navigated the logic of your own mind?
I feel like now I think more with my heart than my mind. And I understand some people, maybe they're just not ready to get rid of the thinking mind, the logical side. I mean, there are books really, but there are a lot of books that focus a lot on evidence. But maybe it's just, the best thing is just direct experience. They can find out for themselves. Like plant medicine is one way, heavy meditation is one way. But it really just depends on themselves whether or not they really want to know, if they want to seek.
What are you excited to share in your journey of the different type of practices that you've been experimenting with?
What am I excited to share? I think I have not yet tried breathwork, but I think meditation had really changed me. I think it's given me a lot more inner stillness and a lot more awareness of my day-to-day life. And they say your life is the meditation, right? Like it's not just you meditate and you have clarity for half an hour and then you go back and you're frantic and stressed out. So I think the meditation practice kind of carries on throughout my days. That I'm aware if I'm getting frustrated and I can kind of take some breaths to bring me back. Or I'm aware I'm, just more in tune.
Nice. Do you feel like that increases your understanding of the relationship between all of us?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think now the biggest difference is I see people as souls than a human. So if you're nasty to me, I won't take it personal because I know you're on your own journey and you're probably nasty to yourself. So I think I see things really differently now because of, all of this.
Have you heard of Osho?
I have, but I have not looked into Osho.
I just recently, was reintroduced to Osho by perhaps the algorithm, this all-seeing algorithm.
Sure.
And I didn't know that he actually started a huge commune. And apparently he was doing quite well until the government decided to arrest him.
Oh.
And they say also slowly poisoned him. How do you respond to those kind of understandings of the world, that when you try to help people or free people or better yourself, if you, so to say, unlock their minds, free their minds, how do you respond to that resistance?
The resistance from the government?
Not necessarily the government, but from people who don't necessarily want people to know these things.
I think there's no choice but to just let them be, right? Because people are always going to have an opinion. People are always there are always going to be people that are not supportive of you. So I don't think it really matters as long as you just focus on what you want to share, and as long as your thoughts are clean and your intentions are pure and your actions align, then I think it doesn't really matter what other people say or think or right.
What would you tell yourself when you were a teenager now?
Just go have fun. because I think I needed to do everything to get to where I am now. So I think everything is necessary. So just go and try to just be authentic.
And what about your older self to you now? What do you think your older self would tell you now?
I think she'll say the same thing too, to just go and have fun on this journey.
So what's your idea of a perfect fun day, week, month?
I think it changes every day. Like maybe today I want to go to a beach. Maybe today I want to go for a hike. Maybe today I want to research about my trip, or I just want to meditate. So everything, I mean, every day I think it's a little bit different.
And what do you
But every day is always perfect.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, I'm happy.
What are you looking forward to? I know you mentioned something about something happened in Thailand.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna go to an ayahuasca ceremony in Thailand, and I'm also gonna go to India before I'm going to Europe next month for a couple weeks.
Since that first ayahuasca trip, have you done it again?
Yeah, I've done it, I think 6 times.
Wow. Was every time different and the same, or was it completely different?
Every time is completely different. So every time, not just ayahuasca, with mushrooms too and acid trips, I feel like because I use them intentionally, every time I'm not trying to just go to a festival and see cool visuals, although that's a really cool bonus, but my intention is always to learn and to expand and show me something that I need to know, or what are my blind spots. And so every time it shows me something. So I think with these experiences, it's important to integrate it. Because if you have a really cool journey, a cool trip, and the next day you wake up and you do exactly the same thing, you don't think about it, you don't change, then that experience will have meant nothing. So I think the integration and using it intentionally is very important.
Do you have an example of something that you were doing and then after the trip you changed it or changed the habit?
I think a lot. I mean, just one little example is it could just be I have to be nicer to like the 7-Eleven clerks. I know I bring them up a lot because I do think about it. It's like sometimes if they're stressed out, like show them more kindness, like, and then look them in the eye when you say thank you. So I think these sort of things that sometimes we miss that we all can do better because we're all human. So treat people with respect and kindness that everyone deserves.
Do you think Taipei needs more of that?
I think everywhere needs more of that. It's nice, right, to be treated kindly and to be a kind person. So yeah, I think we can always choose to be kind.
Do you think that 7-Eleven person is also in that situation because of their own maybe lack of opportunity or understanding? Why do 7-Eleven workers exist?
I think there's so many different reasons, right? And some of them are very happy. Some of them are very happy and content, and they're smiley and they want to be there, and they're proud of it. And some they don't. But that also serves a purpose. They need to go through that to maybe know what they don't prefer. Maybe they just really need to hit rock bottom before they realize they want to do something different. So I mean, everyone is different, right? There's so many different.
That's true. Too many scenarios.
And,
Me and Armel were at the coffee place, and we were just observing. It was super busy in there, and the two guys working behind the coffee bar, you can tell like their energy was low. They didn't really want to be making coffee. But meanwhile, there's like 20 cups that they gotta like finish. But we were kind of thinking about a world where maybe robotics replaces those type of tasks,
right,
and then allows people to only do something if they are truly passionate or in love with what they're doing.
Yeah, I think everyone can start now if you take some time to think about what really brings you joy. Because we're so conditioned to just do things without questioning, do we really want to do this, or why are we doing it? So I think anyone can start thinking.
How,
You don't have to make a living out of it yet, but you can really think about what you're passionate about.
how has this spiritual journey influenced what you do for work?
I think I have different conversations with my guests, and I make different connections. I think just because what we talk about are so different now. Like I like to go a little bit deeper. Like I'm really curious in people, and like I do like to help if I can, like offer like a little advice or just giving them a different perspective in general. So I think it makes my work more fulfilling too, because and I rarely ever meet unpleasant customers, but if I did, then I know it's for me for a reason. So like it's fun that way. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite places in the world to travel to?
There's just so many for all different reasons. Yeah, they're all completely different.
You a beach person, a mountain person?
Both. Love them all. Yeah, I really can't choose like one favorite place. I went to India for the first time last year, and I thought that was very special for spiritual visits, like the energy, the temples, the ashrams. And then I love beaches too. Like Turks and Caicos is really nice. You can just walk out and you can snorkel, and there's like nurse sharks, and
That's cool.
yeah, I love snorkeling.
That's cool.
Hawaii I love too.
That's
I think
cool.
Hawaii has amazing energy too.
How many countries have you visited so far?
I never counted.
Really?
I never did. Yeah.
So where do you want to go next? What's
Where
on the?
do I want to go?
I know you mentioned Italy. I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, you mentioned India, and
Yeah, I'm going to Thailand. So Europe, I'm going next month. So I'm going to Croatia, which I've always wanted to go to.
Dubrovnik. You're gonna go to
Yes.
the land of the Game of the Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah, gonna go to Germany for the first time, flying into Germany.
Wow.
And going to Italy too. Yeah.
Then I guess this freedom to travel, how do you cultivate that for yourself? What allows you to be able to do that? For people who are curious, who want to kind of live this lifestyle too.
I mean, I think actually I'm pretty bad with planning things in advance too. But I think, yeah, I don't, with my work, I feel like I look at the schedule and all of my guys, they're going to be in town. I'm like, I can go anywhere I want.
I see.
Yeah. And so I think.
So you created a tour guide business for yourself. So you manage a tour guide business and you have guides that work for you?
So basically I own this food tour company. So we have a few tour guides, myself as one, and people can just go on the website and they book a tour they want, and we'll get a email or notification that how many people sign up and which one is the tour for what day. So it's very easy. We don't have a storefront. We don't have a shop. No, we just have a website and guides.
That's dope.
Yeah,
do you feel like that's helped you achieve financial freedom?
Definitely, for sure. I've been doing it for 10 years. And it's working so far. But I definitely want to do something else too. But I think when the time is right, I'll know what I.
That's dope. Yeah, because I love that you can speak so fluently about like, I'm gonna go here, I want to go there, I'm gonna do this. Like that's of course the dream of many people, I'm sure. And travel, I'm sure, is a huge influence on one's spiritual journey, right?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, everything could be a spiritual experience too. But I think when you travel, you have a lot of different experiences and you look at different things. And maybe you also have a lot more time to be introspective and think, and time with yourself, with your thoughts, instead of being distracted with phones or, I don't know, what do people do every day? Go to the fridge.
You don't go to the fridge anymore?
Oh no, I do. That's why I thought of it. I do. Yeah. I mean, I could be more mindful, Just some days. Yeah, we're
What's your
human.
What's your favorite food right now?
Favorite food? I've been really into chocolate. For a while, I didn't like chocolate, but now every day I have chocolate. Cacao is really good for you too.
Wow,
It rebuilds your stem cells.
that's dope.
It's like scientifically proven. Yeah.
That's dope.
Mm.
Any more cool like facts about different foods that you consume that you're passionate about?
I think I've always been into nutrition too,
Mm-hmm.
even though I love trashy food. But yeah, I think everyone should take some time to learn about nutrition, what's good for your body.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have certain cravings for reason, right? Like your body maybe is lacking potassium, or so you have to learn to listen to your body and just really learn about food in general, like different spices. Like turmeric's really good for you. Like lion's mane, I think that's been super popular now.
What about honey? What's your relationship with honey like?
I love honey too. I think honey is supposed to be very good for you, like different enzymes, right? Yeah, but there are different types of honey as well.
That's amazing. Do you believe in luck?
Luck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are different cycles that we go through that there's just sometimes everything is just kind of in your favor. I do believe in luck.
Who's your favorite historical philosophical character?
Philosophical character. Can it be a poet? Rumi.
Rumi?
Yeah.
What's your favorite quote or saying by Rumi?
There are a lot. I can't. Well, if I have to choose one now.
First one that comes to mind.
Da, 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 da. Be a good person. What is it? Be good to people for no reason. Oh. I think he said that. Yeah. Be good to people.
How do you embody the spirit of rebellion in your approach to business and life?
The spirit of rebellion.
Yes. Do you consider yourself a rebel?
I guess I don't do things in a social expectant way. So maybe. Yeah.
Interesting. Can you discuss the importance of breaking free from societal norms and embracing unconventional paths to success?
How do I define that? How do I...
Can you discuss the importance of breaking free?
It's important that you're free. Once you stop caring about what other people think about you, you're free. Once you accept your cringe, you're free. So just, you can decide. It's a choice if you want to be free or not. Yeah.
Got you.
Just be free.
How do you practice detachment in your approach to business and life? And how has this contributed to your success?
Detachment?
Yeah.
I think if there are things that you can control and that can help your business, you do it to your best ability. And then it's out of control. There's no point in stressing about it, right?
Dope.
As long as you do your best.
Can you share examples of how letting go of outcomes has paradoxically led to greater achievement and fulfillment in your endeavors?
I feel like I've been letting go all my life. So I think, yeah, to not have anything weigh you down, that is just lighter.
That's fine. So taboo is becoming mainstream. Is there something that's considered taboo in your world right now?
I don't think so.
What's your taboo right now for somebody who has already experienced multidimensional travel via ayahuasca?
What is my taboo right now?
Currently, what's taboo for you? What don't you touch? What are you scared? What are you scared of right now?
I'm not really scared of many things. I don't. I'm scared of that.
You're a liar. I caught you.
I'm scared of sudden movements and loud sounds. Or scary movies. Yeah, I don't like to scare myself. Yeah, I don't want to watch like entity movies.
Just making sure you're still there, right? Is there a deeper meaning or reason to your journey, practice, or business? What do you think the deeper meaning is?
Deeper meaning. I think it's just to spread love and like make the world a little bit better.
True. Do you have a creative process for what you do?
Not a proper creative process. I think just relax and think.
How do you think relaxation involves all of us as humans?
Evolves? I think in stillness, you find peace and you find a lot of answers. So I think a lot of it comes from stillness and peace.
Mm. What skills did you learn that helped you achieve your own desired outcomes, whether it be through business with the tour guide agency or traveling? What skills do you practice?
I think it's a bit more natural skill. It's just like my social skills. I feel like I relate to people very easily, so I think it's easy for me to be engaging within a group. Or
do you enjoy talking to people and meeting people?
Generally, yeah.
Gotcha. What would you have wanted to learn earlier as far as skills are concerned? And which ones do you want to learn now that you haven't yet?
I always wanted to be a cook when I was younger.
So you can't cook?
I can cook, but not as well as I could. So I think now that's the next answer is now I want to learn more of it.
What was that show called? Chen Can Cook? Can cook, so can you?
No, I've never
heard of that? That show? There was like a show. Chen can cook, so can you? Anyways. What dish would you want to cook? What's your dream dish?
I don't have one. I think I can cook anything if I put my mind into it.
Pasta or steak?
Pasta is probably, more skillful to cook.
Bagel or pizza?
Pizza.
$1 million or one tea date with Rad. What's his name?
Oh, Richard Rudd.
Not Rad. Radan.
Oh, Ramdas.
Ramdas.
Oh, of course, with Ramdas.
Okay. Interesting. What tool, service, idea do you wish existed?
Service ideas?
Yeah. Like right now, as you go through life, are you experiencing any problems that you wish, damn, I wish there was a tool for that or a service?
I think maybe there can be an app for like a spiritual friend.
What's that mean?
Just like an app instead of Tinder, but you just need some spiritual advice or a spiritual friend to do spiritual things with, like crystal shop or like, I don't know, something that your friends wouldn't usually be into.
Interesting.
Or go grounding or.
But then you'd have to just like you would reject someone on that app. You would swipe left on somebody who likes crystals.
No, I think it would just be like, now I need a crystal date, and then like and like who's free, and like the person maybe set I'm free all day.
Got you.
Just to like receive or give
today,
some energy.
Today I need a crystal homie. Tomorrow I need my DMT dude.
Yeah. Today I need a sitter.
Today I need my tea team. I see what you mean. Interesting. Yeah. A Tinder for spiritualism. You don't think that exists yet?
But just for like not like a sexual romantic relationship, just for
day trips.
Yeah.
Day dates. Or activities in the spiritual community.
Yeah, I don't think there's something that's like very intuitive or like very popular. Or like, because I think to make it attractive, you need like really nice looking apps, or like, like design and.
So you request a niche app to help connect you to more spiritual, like-minded individuals who want to do activities in that realm.
I guess I don't know how often I'll use it if it comes out. Depends on the app.
First you lied about not being scared of anything. Now you're lying about not using the app that you invented. All right.
Someone else might.
Define creativity for us.
Creativity is just something from your heart, from your mind that you want to show people. What
have you created recently that you're actually like kind of proud of? Or do you even still experience pride?
I do, yeah. I'm proud of myself a lot.
Okay.
I made these little notes. They come in like a stack of cards. They're hooked onto each other. And I wrote some quotes on it. And then I made my friends take one out. And they say it's like a really accurate tarot card reading, because that's exactly what I needed to hear.
Did you bring those with you today?
I have one, yeah.
Let me see that.
Yes.
Let me see that.
I have. So this one is a bigger version. So this
is the big deck.
This is I think I actually wrote this for a friend because he has bad eyesight.
Okay.
So the deck I had was really small, but this one is bigger.
So you made this?
Yeah, I just wrote it.
All right.
So
How we play?
you can just pick one.
And you
You
can
can
tell.
just flip through
I
it.
can stop wherever I want.
Yeah. I mean, you'll understand it. There's nothing.
Why does it smell like mint?
Oh, does it? Or maybe I have mints in my bag.
Are you that girl who has just like
Stuff in my bag?
mints in your bag?
I have quite a lot of stuff in my bag. It's a big bag.
Like gum that you haven't eaten for years?
I wouldn't do that, no. I
You
have some
sure?
cool
This
stuff.
smells like 2-year-old gum.
Really? I'm gonna have to smell it.
No, that's pretty good though. All right. Ha. The only lasting beauty is the beauty of the heart.
Ah, see, that's nice.
The only lasting beauty
You only
is
get
the beauty
one.
of the.
I'm just kidding.
I feel like you wrote the same thing on every page.
No.
The one who has a good friend doesn't need any mirror. Ooh.
Hmm.
Where do these quotes come from?
Different. Sometimes I see them online, sometimes from a book. A lot of them are Rumi quotes.
Someone who does not run toward the allure of love walks a road where nothing lives. Half of life is lost in charming others. The other half is lost in going through anxieties caused by others. Leave this play. You have played enough.
See? They're nice, right?
That's a scary one.
But it's
All right, your turn.
If it's scary, that means you need to figure out why it's scary.
You're
attached to it.
Someone's telling me to stop playing?
Stop putting on a mask that is not you.
Mm.
Oh, I flipped to that one too. I think it's maybe there's a crease.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I thought you flipped to the mask line.
How about this? Don't go with the flow. Be the flow.
All day. Be like water.
Yeah. Soft.
What's Bruce Lee's favorite drink?
Bruce Lee?
Yeah.
Water?
Water! You didn't know that one?
I remember now. Yeah. Some wisdom I had in me that I remember.
Come on, Bruce Lee, man. Shout out Bruce Lee and the whole Bruce Lee family. We accept all kinds of donations from the Bruce Lee family. Spiritualism and studying and practicing the art of spiritualism is.
And studying and practicing spiritualism. I think studying is just reading and trying to understand. Practicing is putting into motion, action, right? Kind of changing yourself. I think the art of it, is there a big difference between the art of spiritualism and just spiritualism?
That's the next question for your next trip.
I guess to me, it doesn't really matter.
What artist, concept, or artwork is inspiring you right now?
What artist in particular?
It could be a song or a book or a painting.
So there's this artist, I think he's from Australia. He's like a white rapper, but his music is like very positive. And that's where I got this quote, love over fear, because he has a song called Love is the Medicine. It's very positive and high frequency music. I think he's a great artist, spreading a lot of positivity.
That's cool. What do you consider is the highest level of art?
Highest level of art. I never really think about, I don't know if there's a different level to art. I think they all have their own audience that places them on different levels.
If you had to choose between being a painter or a sculptor, which one would you be?
Maybe painter, if I can choose, yeah.
Why?
Because I feel like there's more colors to work with. Yeah, texture, colors.
When did you first discover that your energy could transform reality?
I think ever since you're young, you're always transforming with your energy, just not being aware of it. But I think it's recent years, you understand what it is, and you understand you're constantly doing it since you're born.
What do you think reality even is? Is it a matrix, a simulation? Is it random? Is it fate? Is it a cycle? What's your definition of reality?
I think for me, I think this reality we live in our physical body is like the matrix. It's like a simulation.
Did I ask you about YOLO or YALA? YOLO or YALA?
What's that?
Did I ask her about that?
Wait, I don't remember. I have a really bad memory. Oh, okay. Yeah. Eternal. I said we're eternal beings.
That's right. I think you said that in the beginning.
Yeah.
So you feel like you always live again, or something lives on.
Your soul lives on eternally, I think.
What went through your mind or your heart or your spirit the moment you realized that you are just a body for a spirit?
I think my mind didn't understand. My heart said I knew it because I thought that when I was younger. So yeah, again, I think it's different, but I think there's a feeling like kind of also like a relief, like it is true that we are spirits.
Mm. How do you recreate that feeling, that experience from these, so to say, psychedelic trips without the substance?
I think it's easy to not easy to recreate the moments, but the feelings. It's you can create it by feeling gratitude and just being aware that you're breathing, you're alive.
What's your favorite what's your favorite form of release?
Like we're crying. I think crying is very natural and it is very fast acting. So I think crying is great. Um, yeah, or journaling. Journaling is also really great too for
Nice.
release. Yeah.
Do you have a idea of the future?
I tend not to think like you mean my own future
Yeah.
or I know I'll be happy, but I don't know really I don't have any idea. No.
Do you believe in aliens?
Of course. We can't be the only ones.
Do you know the different type of aliens?
I've heard of the terms, but I never met any of them yet.
Have you met anyone who does?
Not personally. I don't think I have met anyone personally that met aliens.
What's the most supernatural thing you've ever witnessed?
Actually, not just me, my friends too. We saw on the 101 literal angel wings after a trip or during a trip, actually, and it's perfectly symmetrical, just like angel wings. That's really cool, and it's large, and it's like a reminder that we do create our reality. And I mean, it's yeah, we can control that too, and tap into that. It sounds crazy, I know, but yeah.
No, I see amazing forms all the time,
Mm.
especially in art. If you could say one thing to somebody that would save their life, what would you tell them?
To love yourself, because you are a manifestation of God, and if you learn how to love yourself, then you see everything differently, and you make better decisions, and you love other people around you, but truly love yourself unconditionally. I think that is everyone should try to do that.
Mm. When you see these words, beyond the hustle, what does that mean to you?
Beyond the hustle, I think the hustle culture was very popular, right? Like five, I don't know, 10 years ago. Maybe in like songs or yeah, the whole culture. It's like we gotta make more. But I think now you have to define your own success or abundance. What does it mean to you? Like for me, abundance is having the time to do what I want to do when I want to do it, what I need to do when I need to do it, and what does it mean for you? So I think you have to think about that and then think about what hustle is too. I think hustle sounds a little rough, like you kind of just get something fast or quickly. And so think about if that's what you want and what you want to contribute.
What do you think is your gift to the world, or the gift you want to leave?
I think for it's just to be myself. I think it's like that for everyone. I think everyone if you truly know how to be yourself, that's the biggest gift, to be authentic. But that comes with knowing yourself, loving yourself, understanding things. Yeah.
Is there a place people can follow your journey, continue to follow your journey and your experiences and your words and your
I don't.
documentation of the different foods and travels? Where can people follow your journey?
I mean, I have a food account, the food tour company, Taipei Eats. There are a lot of good food. And in the stories, like I post some positive things that I like. But my personal one, I don't really use. I just put some pictures. Like the last time was 10 years ago. And I just recently started again.
You've been
but
off
I
the grid.
haven't. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Anyone who has anything they want to ask Tina Fong, put it in the comments. I'm sure you'll have a very insightful answer.
I hope so. I mean, like, honestly, all of the answers I give you today, I don't know if that's true, but it's what I think, and I'm always changing. So
I got like 200 more. I can keep going. Like,
yeah, but I love to help. I love to share if anyone needs anything.
all right.
Yeah.
To sign off on a positive note, what gets you hyped about life?
Life itself. Every day is a gift.
Got you.
Yeah. Life, love.
All right, cool. What's next?
Just flow.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Tina Fong.
My pleasure.
Very fun conversation. And I really appreciate your energy, your peace, your serenity. And I hope that you give me the details and Armel the details for this next ayahuasca trip in Thailand.
Will. Yeah.
Sounds very interesting. And we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Any tips for a first-time ayahuasca taker?
Just surrender and be open.
Just
and
let
trust.
go.
Yeah.
What if I come back and I just become something else?
And then you're meant to be something else. You be happier. You can be anything you want to be.
What if I turn into a black hole?
You won't, but then a black hole is great.
Wow. What's your definition of duality?
Duality is just different, like black and white, right? Up and down.
I think I just keep asking you questions and we just fade off.
Okay.
We just fade to black as I keep asking questions. Right? What's the definition? What's 1 times 1?
4.
Later, y'all. Later. Peace.